Alright, so here's my driver's seat. This is North American version, so that means it's if you're sitting in the car, it's on the left hand side. So I'm gonna basically take off the sliding seat frame here. Let's get this. I should just focus on this part first, right here. So we need to take off the sliding lever. So this is pretty easy. You could use a pair of pliers, but if you have a spring hook tool, one of these, this is a lot better than pliers. So basically, I'm gonna hook the spring right here. Pull out a little bit. Actually, before I start this, the slider is actually all the way. Let's look at the slider real fast. The slider is actually all the way down, so you naturally. Let's see. You naturally do that. There's the slider was slide all the way down, meaning the seat slid forward, right? If you push, because you have to actually physically push the seat backwards to get the slider moving forward. But you just if I lift up the seat and just have nothing holding the slider and I pull the lever here, it's just gonna spring down, right? So I'm gonna let it naturally be in its natural position, because I don't want to do something and somehow make the slider slip, and also it expands and you get hurt like that. So do that first. Okay. So now let's go back to the lever here. So the lever, the little spring hook here, unhook the little spring here, and the spring will basically come off here, like so. So this big loop is around this bar down here, and the small little loop here goes into the little hole over here, right up here. After that, it helps to get this electric plug out of the way. So you basically just pull this plug up, right? And from there, this little pin right here, this pin slides right out. That's why you have to take this electrical plug off, so you can slide the pin out. Right? Once you slide the pin out, this piece we just pop right off, like so. And that's it. And that's your little lever right there. So that's that. Take that off. Set all those parts aside. Okay. Now let's go over to the seat rail. Let's look at the seat rail. So the seat rail is going to be a bolt right here, and another bolt down about right here. So it helps if you take the screw right here. There's a little screw where the incline rest is. If you lift that up, there's a little hole over here for the screw. Take that screw off, and I already did that. Okay. So bolt right here, and a bolt down over here. So those are both 14 millimeters. So I have a little, and this is the tool that you need for this job. A 14 millimeter box wrench, ratcheting box wrench, and with a little swivel head right here. This is the trick to doing this seat job. Everything else is pretty much standard, standard socket or box open end wrench. But this is what you need. Not for this particular spot right here. For here, I'm gonna use the regular socket wrench with a 14. Actually, even before I get that, there's another little bolt over here. There's a 10 millimeter, and I actually already loosened up that as well. And this plastic piece right here. There's a clip here, and to unclip it, actually let's go closer to it. To unclip this clip right here, this little white clip, if you can see here. So that little white clip, to unclip it, you basically just bend this, like so. So that's how it clips in. It doesn't move out. And if you want to get off the clip instead of pulling it off, you basically just push this down, and you make this plastic piece bow out, and it'll unclip, like so. So that way you have access to these two bolts here. So this is a little 10 millimeter bolt right here. I'm gonna loosen that up and take that out. So So both sides is pretty much identical. Okay, so I'm gonna just do one side on camera anyways, so you guys can see it. Actually, I'm gonna do the bottom bolt first because I think it's probably a little safer that way. Get my 14mm here. So I can go in there. I probably do that, but it's kind of tight. So let's do that box wrench, ratcheting box wrench, 14mm. See how much more flatter it is. You can actually get the wrench in there. So it's pretty loose already. I'm gonna do it by hand. Well, let's see if I can do it by hand. Nope, there's too much tension on there because of the weight of the seats on there. Go back to this. Alright, almost off. Just a little bit weight on here. Let me lift the seat up a little bit. Oops. I lifted the seat up to get the weight off of the bolt. And where did my bolt fall into? Okay, it's actually in the plastic there. Fish that bolt out. It's time this is what it'd be nice if I had a little magnetic tool. Actually, I do have one, but I don't want to run and go get it. God dang it. Really? God dang it. Jeez. Really, dude? It's right there, goddammit. Okay. Okay, there it goes. Man, what a pain in the ass that was. Okay, so that's the bottom bolt. Actually, I should do this in pairs. This other side too. Yeah, let me do it in pairs. So that's the bottom bolt on the door side. So here's the bottom bolt on the center side. So that one is actually the seat belt, right? The seat belt buckle here. So that's that bolt, and I also loosened this one already, but because of the weight on here, just a little tension from the weight. And the seat is actually, the weight of the seat is actually pushing on the rail, which pushes on the bolt. Then lift the seat up a little bit, actually take off the weight, so I could take this off. There you go, and this bolt just stays there. It's, it doesn't come off its little mechanism in here. It's all kind of together as one. Okay, the seat's wanting to collapse now. For this side too, the top side here. The little 10mm. Again, I already loosened all these bolts up already. So that way it's faster. I could just do everything by hand, spin it out by hand. There's that little 10mm right there. And 10mm on here on this side. So let me do the other side first. Wait. Oh shit. Let me get this socket wrench here. Do this other side. Inside first. Again, that's the weight of the seats coming down, so I have to actually hold the seat up a little bit. So I'm holding it up by the rails on the inside, underneath there, I should say. Okay, now put this one off. Okay, so that's the seat rail right there. Let's actually put this back to this angle so you guys can see it while I move it, or while I take it off, I should say. Okay, so I'm gonna hold the seat from actually down in here. This is still part of the seat. This rail is different. Right here. So there we go. So that's it. That's a sliding rail right there. And here's a little lever for the to slide it back and forth where the attachment was. So these two will actually fall apart, sort of, kind of, sort of. Oh shit! There it goes. It fell apart. So be mindful of it. Let me put it down flat so that way you guys could see what it looks like. Move the seat out of the way. Okay, let's pan down a little bit there. Let's look at it. Okay, like so. Okay, so both sides here, they have a little slot that they fit into of both of these bars, and it only fits one way. So there's no way of messing this up. So it's like that. Obviously with the little lever, and you can just set this aside. Later on, when you put this back, you can. Let's see. Let me show you a different angle. So these seat rails are actually not parallel. You actually look at them. I think the front here, the front is actually wider than the rear, so it actually kind of toes in a little bit. So the angle basically is instead of being parallel, right? Being parallel, it's actually in like that. It's just a slight bit. You barely, you could barely see it, but it's there. Okay, so set this aside. Store it somewhere safe. Remember how it goes on. So set that aside. I'm gonna go over to my seat here. Let's look at the seat real quick before I make a second video. Continue on. So there it is. That's basically the bare seat bottom. All right. So let's look at it again. So there's gonna be 3 of these bolts here that you take off. All right. On this side there's a rail right here. There's a rail down on the bottom, top, bottom, and so this is the door side, and the center side, the transmission tunnel side. There's one up here, but the bottom one, if you remember, is attaches to the seatbelt buckle. Okay. So that's that bolt. So 3 of these, and that seatbelt buckle bolt. Okay. I think that's it. So next video, I'm gonna start putting in the new the Paco Sport lower seat rails. So stay tuned for that.